Hey, I'm Colonel Garuda, and today we're taking a look at the Soul of Chogokin GX-84 Zambot 3 F.A. Now, F.A. is the subline of Soul of Chogokin, which stands for Full Action, and takes figures that usually transform or combine into these more proportionate figures with better articulation. Now, I have seen the anime Zambot 3, and it starts off as your typical generic 70s mecha anime, but then it gets really dark. I'm not really going to give away any spoilers, but this is one of the few Super Robot animes from the 70s that I can recommend because it's short and very story-driven. Now, starting off with the packaging, as you can see, we got a nice picture of the figure and some illustration. And it just says here the name of the figure. Got the banner logo, Tamashii Nations, Soul of Chogokin on the top, really not much here. On the side, we got this little picture here, not much here. On the other side, you got that illustration again. This is a really big box, by the way, but the figure itself is really small. Most of it's accessories. And on the back, it just shows you everything this guy can do. Some warnings and stuff. And I think that's about it for the packaging. Now, I have opened this guy a long time ago, so we're going to move on to the figure and let's see how awesome he truly is. And here we have Zambot 3 out of the packaging, and this is a really cool design. Now, a long time ago, one of my earlier videos, I reviewed a similar figure in the same subline of Soul of Chogokin F.A. known as Daitarn 3. And it has a very similar design to this, and we'll do some more in-depth comparisons a little bit later. But I think this is a much better looking robot. I can't focus here. He's got this nice crescent moon thing on his forehead. He's got this yellow V. I don't know what these are supposed to be. And then he's got these weapons on the side. Now, these things spun around in the show, and yes, these things can spin, and they fired missiles. And I think, if I remember correctly, these things were also weapons that he threw at monsters. It's been a while since I've seen Zambot 3, but I absolutely love that show. And it's got these things here, these things here, and it's got some weird looking feet. And this was originally a combining robot. Like, this character did come apart into several components and they combined. And here's how it looks at the back. Now, a little problem I have with this figure is that most of the die-cast is internal. Like, all the joints are die-cast. There's hardly any external die-cast, which is a little disappointing because when I buy these Chogokin figures, I just love handling them and feeling the cold die-cast metal. But the only external die-cast that I could maybe find is maybe these front legs here. The front of the legs seem a little cold. But everything else appears to be internal. Like, all the joints are all die-cast. It's still got a nice heft, but I guess you can touch the back of these joints here, but it's very cool. Now, this guy also did come with some instructions, which I'll just quickly show you. I'll get him to stand right. Here are the instructions, and as you can see, it's got a nice picture of the robot in a fancy scene. I'm going to figure out the way to make it easier to show you. Now, check this out. Got this really nice little bio on the robot in the show and some of the pilots. And yes, one of the pilots was a dog. It was strange. Got some illustrations and concept art and everything, and some shots from the show and a bunch of Japanese I cannot read. And then when you open it up, it just shows you everything this guy can do, all the crazy accessories he comes with. And it just shows you how to assemble the figure, how those things came off. I'm not going to take off those pieces because I don't want to risk breaking it or anything. But I guess I might have to when I put this figure in storage at some point. It just shows you some of the articulation. And here, it does warn you that certain parts may rub off if you're not careful. So I'm really glad Bandai warned me when I opened this guy up when I first got him. And those are those Zambot busters, I think they're called. He's holding them like that, and he pour it on there. He has interchangeable little horns, which I'm not really sure what the difference is. But we'll look at that a little later. And then here's all the weapons. Now, notice how he says warning delicate. I only put this spear thing together like once, and it nearly snapped off. At least it felt like it was going to snap off, and I'm not going to be doing it in this video because I don't want this figure to break. And same thing happened here, so I don't think I'm going to be able to really do that as much. And as you see, it comes with the stand and all underneath like Daitarn 3. Comes with a bunch of hand accessories and this thing here. And it's pretty cool. Go back to the figure, and you can see there's a lot of sharp arms, a lot of points, a lot of pointy parts all over the figure. Every part of the figure that is pointy is ultra sharp. And this is by far one of the prickliest figures I've ever handled in my life. And now let's take a good look at all the accessories. He's got this really nice stand, which has a little arm that has a hinge joint. Oh, came off really easily. He has a... Okay, I'm gonna demonstrate like this way. It has a hinge. Actually, it's a really tight hinge. I'm not gonna move it. And it has a hinge here, here, and this thing can swivel. And like Daitarn 3, this figure has a hole right down there. It's kind of hard to see, but it has a hole there. And when you do, and you just split.
Grundy, born on Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, Articulation Thursday, grew up on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. That was the end of Solomon Grundy.
You just put them right here and have the whole plug into that piece. Have plug in there, and that looks pretty neat. And this is pretty much how I have them displayed on my shelf. And again, like the Daitarn 3 figure I reviewed, this arm can come off as seen earlier. And when you open this up, that's where majority of the hand accessories are stored, as well as that little alternate horn piece. So, let's take a look at them one by one. Start things off with his hands, which are designed for holding things. He can hold quite a few of the many accessories this guy comes with. Starting with these chrome size. I believe they can just go into his hand, but I'm looking at the instructions on my lap as I do this. And they can just go in like so. Alright, wait, can they go in? Yes, they can. They can. They can hold him like that. So he's kind of like Raphael from Ninja Turtles. You gotta be careful though, because this is a little delicate. You know, do not want to break the figure. That looks pretty cool. Next up is this nice big sword. Now, this is one of those really delicate accessories. In fact, all these accessory weapons are delicate, so I gotta be really careful as I do this. But what you're supposed to do is you just tug on this, and it comes off like that. And then you just put this into the hole. Easier said than done. Just give it a second. Alright. And then, put the other hand through the hole. Oh, come on, get in there. All right, there we go. Do that, and then you take this giant blade and you just stick it on there. And now he has a big ass sword. Let's see if we can put him in a little stance here. Oh, gotta be careful there. Thought I chipped the paint for a second. Now he can just be like, come at me! Next up is this long spear. Just put it in here. Just stick it in. Have the other hand, have it go through there. It's a little tricky. I swear, I'm so scared of breaking this figure. But, there we go. Yeah, do that. And now, you have this side here, which I think is a little bit longer. Yes, I think it has, no, actually no, it's the same It's actually the same Sai as the ones that were seen earlier, just as a third Sai. Now the idea is you're supposed to stick it onto here. But I'm not doing it because, like I said, it's super brittle and I only done that like once and I thought it was gonna break, but you kind of get the idea. For other hands, you got regular old fists which can't hold anything, flat hands which allow you to replicate the finishing attack of the mecha, an alternate pair of holding hands which can allow you to hold those Sai seen earlier in a different way. So you can hold it like that. And here's how he looks holding those Zambot busters. Pointing hands, open hands, and now for the final accessory, the alternate moon crest piece thing. So what you do is, I think, you just pull it off, and just put the other one on. Gotta go in there somehow. Hold on. Wow, it's a little trickier than I thought. Oh, there we go. I guess this one's supposed to be a different shade of yellow compared to the original, or maybe it's slightly longer. I can't really tell, but I think it's a very pointless accessory. So I'm just gonna take this one off and put the other one on instead. Go. Yeah, I didn't really see a difference, so I don't know why they included that. But that's it for the accessories. Now for the figure's articulation. The head is on a ball joint. The arms on very tight joints, and these pieces can flip and fold out of the way. Can fold out like that. It's on a ball joint in the arm. You get a very tight bicep. You get a, is it double bend? Let's find out. Looks to be a double bend at the elbow, but it's like super tight with the die-cast metal. But it can be done. Uh-oh, this piece came off. We'll get that in a little bit. Wait. Come on. There we go. And he has a butterfly joint, which allows him to punch out that far. Alright, I'm going to just put this on real quick. Back on. Here we go. Now, he has this little hinges, a bunch of hinges on the back, like that, which allows him to do a crunch. That's pretty cool, and you gotta just collapse it back in there. And he's got what appears to be, I'm gonna move the arm away from this, a ball joint at the hips. You gotta move these out of the way. And he can, you also gotta move these out of the way too. Yeah, a lot of moving out of the way with this figure. But allowing those out of the way allows for more movement. Okay, I don't want this to break, but he can spread. I'm only gonna go this far. I feel like if I go a little further, it could break, but I'm not too sure. I don't want to risk breaking this. It's $150, by the way. And do that. He's got thigh swivel, double bend at the knee, and he's got ball joints at the feet, which allow for an ankle pivot. And now for some size comparisons. Here he is next to the high-grade RX-78-2 Gundam Revive, the Black Series Darth Nihilus, the Deluxe Galaxy Megazord, the DX Sempujin, the Soul of Chogokin Daitarn 15, Lionbot, the Super Robot Chogokin Hiryu and Enryu, the DX Chogokin Raideen reissue, the DX Chogokin Dino Robo, my previous review, the Legacy Voyager Bulkhead, and last but not least, the Soul of Chogokin Daitarn 3 F.A. And as you can see, they look extremely similar. They got similar shapes on their chest, similar colors. They got little things on the back with these little wings. But I think I prefer Zambot 3, looks-wise. But when it comes to feeling and handling, I prefer this guy because he's got die-cast feet. Overall, this figure is almost perfect. I strongly recommend picking this figure up if you have the money. But the only problems I really have with them is the minimal amount of external die-cast metal and the very fragile weapons. Oh, and by the way, while I was putting this guy in this pose, I just discovered that he can do this. He can actually extend the foot to add more articulation, and if you want, it can collapse right back in. Oh, the side fell, but if you want to do some more posing and some crazy stuff with the figure, you just gently tug on it, and he's got more range of movement. How sick is that? Good up. Ooh! It almost fell. Just putting this back in here. Okay, now, where was I? If you liked this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.